The story begins with Jason Brady, a young man with a passion for music and blogging, sitting in his bedroom, strumming his guitar. Jason dreams of making it big one day, and his talent shines through in every note. With summer break over, Jason and his younger sister, Zoe, pack their bags and head back to their Catholic boarding school. The campus feels the same as always, intimidating and strict, but it's home for now. At the entrance, they're greeted by Sister Rebecca, the no-nonsense headmistress who prides herself on enforcing the school's rigid rules. Sister Rebecca's presence alone is enough to silence any chatter. Standing beside her is Sister Sophia, the new nun at the school. Sophia looks nervous but eager to fit in. Sister Rebecca doesn't waste time, handing Sophia a handkerchief and telling her to remove her makeup. "We value simplicity here," she says sharply, setting the tone for Sophia's time at the school. As Sister Rebecca shows Sophia around the campus, Jason happens to walk by. The moment their eyes meet, something shifts in Sophia's demeanor. Her polite smile tightens ever so slightly, and she seems momentarily distracted. During the tour, Sister Rebecca introduces Jason as one of Sophia's new homeroom students. The introduction is brief, but Sophia's gaze lingers just a little too long. Later that evening, Sophia sits alone in her room, scrolling through Jason's blog and music videos on her laptop. Her expression softens as she watches him play the guitar. It starts as admiration, but quickly deepens into something unsettling. She leans forward, kisses the screen, and whispers, "Finally." It becomes clear that she already knows Jason and has deliberately come to the school with ulterior motives. Unable to contain her obsession, Sophia sneaks out of her room that night. She tiptoes through the silent hallways, drawn by the faint sound of Jason's guitar coming from the dormitory. She hides in the shadows, listening to him play, her face glowing with a mix of longing and obsession. The next morning, class begins, and Jason quickly becomes the center of attention. Sarah, a popular and confident student, flirts openly with him. She's bold, leaning in close and laughing at his jokes. Sophia enters the classroom and immediately notices their interaction. Her jealousy is unmistakable. She calls out Sarah in a tone that's harsher than necessary, reprimanding her for being disruptive. The class falls silent, and Sarah, unfazed, responds sarcastically, reminding Sophia that she hasn't said her morning prayers. Sophia's eyes narrow, but she lets it slide for now. Later in the schoolyard, Sarah and Jason continue their conversation. Sarah, clearly smitten, complains about Sophia's strange behavior. "She's a little intense, don't you think?" she says, rolling her eyes. The conversation takes a more romantic turn, and they share a kiss. But just as their lips meet, Sister Sophia appears out of nowhere. Her face is a mix of fury and hurt as she orders Jason to return to class. "Stay away from her," she warns, her voice trembling with barely contained anger. That evening, Sophia's obsession takes a darker turn. She summons Jason to her room, citing school rules that prohibit boys from visiting the girls' dormitories. Jason hesitates but decides to go, curious about what she wants. When he arrives, the door is slightly ajar. Inside, he's met with a shocking sight. Sister Sophia has removed her nun's uniform and is standing there in bright red lingerie. She pretends not to notice him, but it's clear the display was intentional. Jason, horrified and confused, bolts from the room, his mind racing. The image of Sophia stays with Jason, haunting him as he lies awake that night. He battles a storm of emotions, confusion, guilt, and a strange sense of attraction. Meanwhile, Sophia is busy plotting her next move. She sneaks into the girls' dormitory under the cover of darkness and plants a pack of cigarettes in Sarah's textbook. Her goal is clear: frame Sarah and get her expelled. As Sophia slips away, she's caught by Sister Rebecca. Thinking quickly, Sophia lies, claiming she was checking on the dormitory security. Rebecca eyes her suspiciously but doesn't press further, letting her off with a warning. The following day, Sophia puts her plan into action. During class, she instructs the students to open their textbooks. Sarah freezes as the pack of cigarettes falls onto her desk. Gasps ripple through the room, and Sophia wastes no time accusing her. "Then what is it doing in your textbook?" she demands when Sarah denies the cigarettes are hers. Despite Sarah's protests, she's sent to the principal's office, where her tears and explanations fall on deaf ears. The school's strict rules leave no room for leniency, and Sarah is suspended, just as Sophia intended. As tensions rise, the school conducts a thorough inspection of the dorms. During the search, a bottle of alcohol is found in Jason's room. Jason faces punishment, but Sophia intervenes, convincing the staff to assign him weekend cleaning duties instead of harsher consequences. Her motives are far from pure. She wants Jason to stay on campus so she can be closer to him. Flashbacks reveal the depths of Sophia's obsession. Before coming to the school, she discovered another nun, also named Sophia, working there. Sophia manipulated the real nun into leaving and took her place, determined to get closer to Jason. Her fixation grew as she learned more about his life, his music, and his habits. During one of Jason's weekend cleaning shifts, Sophia corners him. She flirts shamelessly, her demeanor switching between playful and predatory. Jason tries to resist, aware of the boundaries she's crossing, but her persistence wears him down. That night, she sneaks into his room, recording him secretly while he sleeps. When Jason wakes up and finds her there, she tries to manipulate him further. Her advances grow bolder, and despite his initial resistance, Jason eventually gives in to her seduction. Their intimate encounter leaves Jason confused and overwhelmed, while Sophia revels in her twisted victory. But as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that her obsession is spiraling out of control, setting the stage for even darker events to come. The next morning, Jason wakes up with a heavy heart, overwhelmed by guilt and shame over the events of the previous night. His mind spins with regret, but he has no idea that things are about to spiral further out of control. Later that day, while Jason's room is empty, Sister Sophia sneaks in, rifling through his belongings. She holds one of his shirts close to her face, inhaling deeply as her obsession deepens. Suddenly, Zoe walks in, catching Sophia in the act. Embarrassed but furious, Sophia lashes out, scolding Zoe harshly and warning her to stay silent. However, Zoe later tells Jason everything she saw, leaving him disturbed and unsure of what to do. Sophia, enraged by Zoe's interference, retaliates by giving her a failing grade on an important exam. This deliberate act of cruelty doesn't go unnoticed by Jason, who grows increasingly suspicious of Sophia's true motives. Seeking clarity, Jason decides to confess his mistakes and seek guidance. But when he enters the confessional booth, it's Sophia, not the priest, who listens to his confession. The situation quickly turns inappropriate as Sophia uses the moment to blur boundaries further, intensifying Jason's internal conflict. That weekend, Jason attends a party, hoping to clear his mind. Sarah, as bold as ever, makes a move to kiss him, but Jason pulls away. His thoughts are consumed by Sophia, and the weight of his emotions drives him to leave the party early, taking a bottle of alcohol with him. On his way home, he's caught by the police. Just when it seems like things couldn't get worse, Sophia appears out of nowhere, intervening on his behalf. Sophia takes Jason to a hotel under the guise of helping him. But once they're alone, she attempts to seduce him again. This time, Jason stands firm. He confronts her, declaring her behavior unacceptable. Sophia, in a desperate attempt to sway him, pleads for them to run away together. "We can use your money, Jason. We'll start a new life in Paris," she says, her voice trembling with longing. Jason, disgusted by her manipulations, refuses. His sharp rejection sends Sophia into a fit of anger, but Jason storms out, determined to put an end to her control over him. Feeling lost and overwhelmed, Jason sits by the roadside and calls Zoe for help. Later, their father steps in, offering support for Jason's music aspirations. For the first time in weeks, Jason feels a glimmer of hope. Returning to school, Jason is horrified to find Sophia unconscious in her room, with what looks like an overdose of pills scattered nearby. Panicking, he tries to wake her, only to realize it's a cruel ploy to garner his sympathy. Furious, Jason confronts her, threatening to report her to the school's authorities. Sophia, however, isn't done yet. She counters with a threat of her own, revealing a video of their intimate encounter. "If you expose me, I'll expose us both," she warns, her eyes gleaming with malice. As the tension mounts, Sophia's jealousy towards Sarah resurfaces. During an evening in the dormitory, she corners Sarah in the shower. What starts as a confrontation quickly turns violent. Sophia viciously attacks Sarah, leaving her badly injured. To cover her tracks, Sophia stages the scene to look like an accidental fall. The next morning, Zoe discovers Sarah's unconscious body and calls for help. The school's residents gather, shaken by the news, but they accept Sophia's explanation that it was a tragic accident. Jason, however, knows better. During a church gathering, he accuses Sophia of being responsible for Sarah's condition. Sophia denies everything, her demeanor cold and unbothered. Meanwhile, Sister Rebecca begins to suspect that Sophia isn't who she claims to be. She contacts the hospital Sophia mentioned for her supposed aunt's treatment, only to find there's no record of such a patient. Jason and Zoe, determined to uncover the truth, break into Sophia's room and access her laptop. There, they find shocking evidence. Sophia's real name is Laura Patterson. She had impersonated her sister, the real Sister Sophia, to infiltrate the school and get close to Jason. Sister Rebecca confronts Laura in her office, intent on exposing her lies. But Laura, desperate to protect her secret, strikes Rebecca, leaving her unconscious. Jason and Zoe, now armed with the truth, race to inform the school authorities. They confront Laura in the church, accusing her of her crimes. Enraged, Laura lashes out, knocking Zoe unconscious and turning her fury on Jason. As chaos erupts, Sister Rebecca regains consciousness and intervenes just in time, restraining Laura. In the midst of the struggle, Jason pulls out a screwdriver he had hidden in his pocket and uses it to defend himself, finally putting an end to Laura's reign of terror. 7 months later, peace returns to the school. Jason, Zoe, and their classmates celebrate their graduation, ready to move forward with their lives. Jason has learned a hard lesson about trust and manipulation, but he leaves the experience stronger and more determined to pursue his dreams. Did you enjoy the recap? Please like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated next time we drop. Thanks for watching.